2 hours of performing. And I thought the battery has been drained. But just a few days before, that battery would last 5 hours. So it didn't make sense to me. And I look at so I start trying to figure out what's going on for a few days. I look at the amplifier's AC adapter light, and it would be on and off, on and off. So although the inverter told me that I still had power, and the reason I determined the inverter is telling me that I still have capacity, battery capacity, is that there are 2 lights, a green one and a red one. The green one is telling me that I have power that is on, and if the red one comes up, the label fail or failure is next to it. That usually powers on when the battery has been drained. When I look at the inverter, only the green light is on, but the amplifier's AC adapter light ebbs and flows. I still think, okay, it's the battery. I'm not an expert on electronics, but I suspected that the people who harassed me had some technology that can drain batteries from afar. And I even posted a question about technology that could drain batteries from afar without being connected to the battery in the website Quora. In any event, I navigated this problem for a few days, and until last Thursday, October 22nd, it was, I believe, 3-4 days ago, and I began to disconnect components. So I'm singing in the bridge, and the same thing happens. That battery, but I read the battery capacity, and it's still telling me that I have like 60% capacity. And I began to disconnect components, and after I disconnected several things, only the amplifier and the speakers remained connected to the inverter. Not even a sound source. So the amplifier had no sound source. It was just the speakers, the amplifier, inverter, and the battery. And I realized the speakers are the ones, and still the light of the AC adapter, of the amplifier's AC adapter, ebbs and flows. So I'm thinking, is the speakers. The speakers are demanding more power than the amplifier can provide. So the speakers that I use are the Marine Boss, B-O-S-S, MR, 4.3 watts, 4.3 W, 200 watts. And the amplifier that I use is the Fosi Audio TB10A 2-channel stereo audio amplifier for 2 100 watts speakers. Usually I set the amplifier's volume at half its capacity. So when I saw the ebb and flow of power to the amplifier, when only the speakers were connected to it without any sound source, I concluded perhaps the speaker had been tampered with, and a coil to remotely make this demand more power than the amplifier can provide was a problem. So 2 days ago I replaced the speakers, but yesterday, October 1st of the current year, 2022, soon after I began to perform at the WYNN-PALAZZO bridge, a pair of police officers showed up and removed me from singing on the bridge and cited me. So I have a court date on November 15th. And I recorded all of this incident with the police, with this body camera, and that I'm using to record myself right now. And now it was not that I had the wrong speakers, like I was harassing Fremont, nor is the amplifier that is melting, or the speakers that are demanding more energy. Now, I was being told that I need a business license to perform in the street and get money from passers, from pedestrians. And the box that I have has the word donations in it. I think it's important that I highlight this. What a street performer calls a tip jar for me is this box that says donations. The box originally said tips, but a few months ago, on May 10th of this year, while I was performing at the bridge that connects the Cosmopolitan Casino and the crystal shops of the area, an officer uniform just like the one that cited me yesterday directed me to change the word tips for donations. So I changed it right away, of course, officer. And the next day that I came, my box had the word donations. And so I performed that way since October of 2021 with a box that said tips up until May, and then in May with a box that said, since May up until yesterday, a box that said donations, because a police officer with a khaki uniform directed me to change the wording in the box. So this incident with the police really leads me to believe that a government policing entity or employees of the government or contractors from the government are authoring all of these difficulties that I am facing with the hacking and the harassment. I'm going through a difficult time, and after the citation yesterday with the police, I mean, like, I just cannot perform. Like, it's been, in the last 2 weeks, I'm disabled from performing every day, one way or another. And I think that at best, the authors would be rogue contractors or employees of the government. And at worst, the authors are a fully and properly authorized team of people or employees or contractors by the government. I mean, even the security staff at the South Strip bus station is harassing me. I was lucky enough to record with this body camera a security person while I was in one of the bathroom stalls at their terminal. So I'm sitting on the toilet, and suddenly I hear a sound like walkie-talkies. I had just arrived to take the bus. I take the Deuce from the South Street terminal to the Las Vegas Strip, and then whatever I'm gonna perform that day, I get off the closest bus stop. And so I arrive, I go to the bathroom, I'm sitting on the toilet, and I hear a sound of walkie-talkies like. And now I am psychologically, after everything that I've experienced, I'm ready to be harassed in the most ridiculous and petty ways. So I have to be ready all the time. And so I decided to put this body camera on the floor and record whatever was happening. And I could not see what was happening. I was in the toilet. But when I finished, I stopped recording. I put the camera on my fanny pack. I come out, and I'm washing my hands. A lady, somebody from another style comes out, washes her hands, leaves. And then as I'm walking out of the bathroom, sure enough, I saw an officer by the door. And then I thought, that's what the walkie-talkie was. But I didn't know what I had recorded, and I didn't take the time to see what I had recorded until I'm reviewing the videos. And when I saw the video that I recorded, I laughed out loud because there was an actual security officer, the one that had been standing in the door when I walked out, in the bathroom, standing, kind of like waiting, right? And you can see it because this video, I'll link it in the description of the webpage for this video. And when I put the camera down, she kind of tilts her head, and I think the gesture of her body language is, like, I interpret it as if she's trying to like recognize what the camera is. And when she realizes that it's a camera, she walks out. She leaves. But it's hilarious to see this, because I couldn't, if I planned it, it wouldn't have been so good. And then I come out, and sure enough, she's waiting outside, no? And so if you want to have a good laugh at the expense of the RTC security officer, and here in Las Vegas they are outsourced from the Marksman company, go watch this video. It's very interesting. So I'm not offended if you think I'm crazy or if you think that I have a mental deficiency, but I ask you to stick with me and accompany me as I experience disruptive, persistent hacking of my electronic equipment and harassment in various ways, and I try to solve these problems. Then together we can reevaluate the state of my mind, and then we can reevaluate the sense of security that most of us, that I used to have, and that you probably had, and that you rely on. I never thought that working for managed IT companies, or that working for Credit One Bank would land me into this nightmare. But well, I will continue with this campaign, whether live streams or pre-recorded videos, and as soon as I can publish a live stream, I will. In the meantime, if you can help me with either of these three things. 1, information on how I can report this to whichever government agency that could take a look at harassment that is possibly perpetrated by government policing agency or government employees or government contractors. Or the second thing would be getting a lawyer that can help me inquire the government about possible harassment. For instance, I know universities have a lot of pro bono projects, or I've tried to reach to legal aid agencies, but for some reason or another they cannot help me. Here in Vegas, the legal corporation, I think it's called, is flooded, and it's been flooded, I think, for a long time, because they don't receive walk-ins. Everything has to be through the computer. I feel terribly uncomfortable. Like, I want to go and meet with somebody and, in fact, record our interview and then see what they say. But I haven't been able. The ACLU has not responded to my inquiries. And then the third thing that you could help me with is finding a Ford van forensic expert to have the van that I purchased, which I described at the beginning of this video. I purchased this new, but from the Ford Stanford dealership in Connecticut, but I believe was tampered with before it was even handed to me. And I will get into those details and videos, whatever videos I've been able to take about the van, and narrate some of my experiences. But there's nothing like a forensic expert with an official examination, right? Because probably right now, many people will be thinking that I'm out of my mind, that I'm crazy, or that I have schizophrenia or something like that. But there's a lot of evidence and videos that I have. I think if you took a look and if you listen, you'll realize that this is real. So hang on, and I'll see you. I think I will be publishing something every Friday. It's the day that I usually allow myself to rest. Working on this, if I can call it rest. Today I'm here because I was asked to leave the bridge. Today is Sunday, October the 2nd. October the 2nd. So on October the 6th of 2021 is when I became a street performer officially. I registered with the city of Las Vegas to perform on Fremont Street. So it's been 1 year. I thought by now I would have solved this. I haven't. Okay, I'll see you soon. Cybertrapped. Cybertrapped.